And again, be mindful of your alignment. Head over top of pelvis, shoulders down away from your ears, chin level to the floor. Let's take our right arm and extend it straight out in front of us so it's parallel to the floor and that the palm is facing towards us. And then take your left hand and place your left hand on the back of the right hand and gently push the right hand in towards your body. Breathing through the stretch in your right forearm. Taking a few breaths here, and I'm inviting you in this class to really kind of slow down and just be aware of what you're feeling in your body and try to relax any points of tension. Releasing the hand, let's flip the right hand over so that the back of the hand is facing your body. And then take the left hand again, taking the right fingers and bringing the right fingers in closer towards the body to stretch the underside of the forearm and the wrist area. Maybe you're finding tension in your face or your legs. Try to relax those. And then release. Let's take the other side now. So left arm parallel to the floor with the palm facing towards you and fingertips facing down. Taking the right hand this time and placing it on the back of the left hand, bringing the left hand in gently towards your body. Gently stretching the top of the left forearm. Being mindful to soften in your body. Trying to loosen up any tension or gripping. Let's flip the left hand over so fingertips are pointing down, palm is away from us. Then taking the right hand onto the left fingers and bringing gently the left fingers in towards our body. And if it feels nice for you to close your eyes when you're in a position, there's nothing wrong with that. And then release. Let's lift the shoulders up towards the ears, scrunch it up and relax. Kind of let that tension go with a flop. Lifting up towards the ears, lift, 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 and down. One more time, scrunched up. Inhale and exhale as you release. Let's take the hands and bring them behind us, clasping the hands down, basically, behind your glutes, your butt area. And gently opening up across the collarbones, rolling the shoulders back slightly, aspiring to keep the arms straight. And, if that's too much, you can always ease off, right? We're not, it's not a competition by any means. It's just challenging our bodies in a way that feels good. And then release. Let's take the right arm and bring the bicep parallel to the floor and the fingertips up towards the sky. Whoops, I did it slightly wrong. Sorry, one step ahead of myself. We'll bring the left arm across our body. That's the important first step. And then we use the right arm as a bracket. I was getting ahead of myself. I had the bracket first before I had the arm in the bracket. And so the right arm bracket is supporting the left arm, which is across the chest. And in this pose, we'll gently pull over with the right arm and gently pull back with the left shoulder. And breathe. And if you want, you can take a look to the left. Gently pulling back in either direction, left shoulder back to the left, right arm gently to the right. And release. This time we'll bring the right arm across the chest. Left arm goes up so that the left bicep is parallel to the floor and left fingertips are pointing towards the sky. It's a 90-degree angle bracket. And then pulling the left arm back towards the left and the right shoulder back towards the right. Nice stretch across the right shoulder. You can look to the right if that feels nice. Being mindful to keep the left bicep parallel to the floor. We don't want it dropping down. Keeping the right shoulder down and away from the face. And release. And sitting up nice and tall. And what I mean by that is crown of the head to the sky, imagining that string pulling up. Let's hinge from the hips, lead with our heart, and come forward over the legs. Now you may come forward onto your hands. You might come forward onto your forearms, or you may come all the way down or close to all the way down. Whatever works for you and is pleasantly challenging for you is good. Breathing in the pose. Maybe just taking a moment to observe how you feel. And see if you can soften up anywhere. Meeting with the heart, let's come back up. And putting our hands on top of our knees, we'll stir the pot a little bit with our belly and our torso. So moving to the left with our shoulders and upper body, moving forward, across, and to the back, and around. We're basically going to, stir the pot with our chest and torso. Breathing in a way that's comfortable for you as you go through the rotation. And it can be a little or a lot of a rotation. It doesn't have to be very deep. If you're more comfortable doing smaller circles, that's good. Gently coming to a stop. Let's go in the opposite direction. This is a nice opportunity to kind of check out how things are feeling in the lower back and the hips. Maybe loosen them up a little. And gently coming to a stop. Let's plant the right hand beside our right hip. Bring the left arm up and over. And keeping the hips, especially the left hip, firmly into the mat. Gently rotating the arm, if it feels good, in big circles in one direction. And, judge this on how you feel. You can do it slowly, you can do it quicker, you don't have to do it at all. You could just keep leaning to the left if that's better. And gently coming to a stop and flowing in the opposite direction. I don't know about you, but it feels like it's been quite a lengthy winter, and it feels kind of nice just to be slow and take good care of ourselves. And gently coming to a stop, planting the left hand beside the left hip this time, grounding the right hip down, bringing the right arm up and over, rotating the right shoulder back so that we're not coming forward. And you can stay here and breathe, or if you want to do arm circles in one direction, you can. Breathing as you go through the rotation. And maybe just being mindful of what you feel as you do this. If it feels good, keep going. If it doesn't feel good, you can back off. Slowly coming to a stop, let's go in the opposite direction. And gently coming to a stop. let's now move into a tabletop position. And in tabletop, we're going to make sure that our knees are under our hips and our wrists are under our shoulders. And to move into cow, we're going to drop the belly and lift the tailbone and lift our chest. Inhaling. Exhaling, we're going to round the spine, tuck the pelvis, tuck the chin in, and push into our hands for cat. Inhaling to cow, dropping that belly, lifting the tail and the chest and the chin. And then we're going to move to cat. Rounding the spine, pushing into the hands, tucking the tailbone. And one more time. Dropping the belly, cow, inhaling. And rounding the back, moving into cat, pushing into the hands. And coming to a neutral spine. From here, let's bring the right leg straight back behind us with the ball of our toes on the mat. And with our balls of our toes firmly in contact with the mat, let's reach back through our heel to the back of the mat for a nice right calf stretch. Pushing back if we need more of a stretch and easing up if we need less. Breathing into the stretch, making sure we're pushing into our hands so that we're not kind of collapsing down. Keeps us nice, and the frame of our body is nice and strong when we do that. And then back to tabletop. Let's do the same with the left leg straight out behind. Balls of the feet on the mat. Firmly, left foot, toes in contact with the mat. And then pushing into the left heel. Breathing through that lovely stretch in the back of our leg, in the back of our calf. You can pulse a little bit here if that feels nice, or just apply continuous pressure. Either way is good. And then back to tabletop. Now this time let's take the right leg straight back, but planting the balls of the feet on the left back corner of the mat. We're going to do a hip stretch. From here, we'll look over our left shoulder at the back heel at the left back corner. Keeping strong in our hands, strong through our arms, and breathing. And maybe enjoying the stretch in the hip. And back to tabletop. Let's take the left leg now, bring it straight back behind us, but toes planted on the right back corner. And then looking over the right shoulder at the back heel, nice and strong in the arms. Breathing into the left hip. And then coming back to tabletop. Now I just want to make mention, because we do have someone new in the class, at any point in time, and this is in any yoga class, but if you ever find it too much, you can bring your knees so that they're mat width apart, your toes together, and then come down over the mat with your hands straight out in front of you. This is child's pose. This is a nice resting pose. Or you can always sit in an easy seat, and there's no shame in that. If it's too much and you want to kind of ride out the pose, or you just need a little rest, it's an option for you. I just thought I would mention that. Now, from here, let's plant our right hand and our left knee. Make sure that we're nice and firm in the right hand and left knee, and then lifting up the left arm and right leg. And planting both down to tabletop. We're going to alternate, bring the left leg back, right arm straight forward, parallel to the floor, back to tabletop. You can do a few rounds of these on your own. This is good for core strength and balance. It's a pretty simple kind of pose, but it's really useful and helpful. Inhaling as you lengthen and exhaling as you come to tabletop. One more time each side. And coming back to tabletop, let's do some hip circles from the tabletop position. So bringing your hips around in a circle, forward, around, and back. And you can, kind of like with the torso circles, you can make them as large or as small or as fast or as slow as you like. It's just nice to get some mobility and movement into the hips, and the challenges the abs and the back a little bit. And coming to a gentle stop, let's go the other way. Breathing as you go. And one more rotation. Coming to a gentle stop. I'm going to move slightly towards the back of my mat because it gives me more runway in the front. If you'd like to do the same thing, you can. Bringing the knees mat width apart and the shins on the edges of the mat, so parallel to the edges of the mat. Making sure your hips are in line with your knees, so we don't want them coming forward or going back, as best we can. And we're going to walk our hands forward. Now, you can walk them forward and place your head in between your biceps as your arms stay long and strong. If it's a little too much this way, you could always go down on your forearms. And this is a modification of that. It's probably a little bit easier. That's an option for you. And if you want to just kind of chill in this pose versus keeping the arms long and strong, you can relax your head down and your arms down, and that's lovely too. I'm kind of a relaxed down kind of girl, but you know, to each their own. This feels good for you today. Breathing in the pose. And then walking the hands back towards your body, back into tabletop. From here, let's bring the right leg out straight to the side and come up in a kneeling, half kneeling position. So kneeling on our left knee with our right leg straight out to the side and the right foot parallel to the side of the mat. We'll bring our arms into a T, nice and broad across the chest. And then tipping to the right so that your right hand rests gently on the right leg and that your left arm is arching up and over, and you have a nice long line of energy from your left knee all the way through your left fingertips. Trying to avoid having your right hand on your knee, so just don't like to put pressure on the joint if we don't have to. And rotating the left shoulder back a little bit. This is gate pose. Let's breathe a bit here. And maybe just take a moment to see how you feel. If you can go a little deeper to the right, or if you want to back off a bit. Coming back up, hands to a T. And coming to a full kneeling position as we transition to the other side. So then shifting the weight to the right knee, bringing the left leg straight out to the side, left foot parallel to the edge of the mat, arms in a T, shoulders down and away from your ears, head over top of pelvis, and then tipping to the left so that the left arm is gently resting on the left leg, avoiding the knee, rotating gently the right shoulder back, so you don't want to be leaning forward. And then imagining the line of energy going from the right knee up through your body and out your right fingertips. And making sure you're breathing, which I know sometimes may sound funny, make sure you're breathing, but you know, we sometimes can be inclined to hold our breath, and in yoga, it's important to let the breath flow. And coming back up. Now let's come back into a tabletop position. And from here, we're going to bring the right foot forward in between the hands and tuck the back toe and lift the back knee to a low lunge position. From here, let's hop the left foot forward just a little bit so that it's flat on the mat and pointing off to the left. And then let's stand up. When we're standing, we want to make sure our hips are square to the front of the mat, that our knee is over top of our heel, and that we can see our right big toe. If you can't see your right big toe, move your knee over to the right. And then let's bring our hands up to a high prayer, squaring our chest to the front of the mat as well. Warrior One. Feeling nice and strong and stable in Warrior One. Lowering the shoulders down and away from your ears, so trying to create space between your ears and your shoulders. Bringing the hands down to prayer position. Let's pivot the left foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat. And then if you need to heel toe a little bit to have the right heel in line with the left arch, that's a good thing for stability. We're keeping our knee over our heel and making sure we can still see our right big toe. Bringing the arms to a T, looking over the right fingertips into Warrior Two. Taking a couple of breaths in Warrior Two. From here, let's come down and place a right forearm on top of the right lower thigh, and bring the left arm along, so that bicep is by the ear, and it's pointing sort of straight out in front, but at a slight angle upward. And you can stay here, or if you want to, you can lift the left fingertips up to sky and bring the right hand down to the ground. This is extended side angle. Some people like to look up at their hand. I find looking down at the ground is better for balance. So, as you see best, but don't hesitate to look down at the ground and give yourself a little help that way. Coming back, forearm to thigh, bringing the arm along the ear, and then coming back up to Warrior Two. Shoulders down, arms in a T, nice and strong, as if someone's grabbing each arm and pulling it across gently. From here, let's bring hands to heart center, pivot the right foot towards the edge of the mat so that both feet are parallel to one another, facing the same direction. Bringing the arms up to a high prayer, shoulders down and away from your ears. Pelvis tucked. We don't want to stick our butt out in this pose. Pelvis tucked. Crown of the head to the sky. This is star pose. And now, bringing the arms down to heart center, we're going to do something a little different and fun. We're going to bring out our inner goddess here. So let's pivot the heels inward so that our toes are about 45-degree angles out, sort of pointing towards the corner of the mat. Being mindful of our alignment, rotating the pelvis forward a little bit. And then crown of the head to the sky and gently lowering down into our seat. Making sure that your knee is over top of your heels. This is goddess pose. And you can lower down a bit more if you're up for that. And you can open your arms, open to the universe if you'd like to. For a little bit of extra fun and balance, you could lift one heel up at a time so that you're on the ball of your feet. See how that feels. And if you want to try, you can do both heels up at the same time. And lower down. Or you don't have to, you can just leave your heels where they are. That's okay too. Let's move back to star. So pivoting the feet so that they're parallel to one another, hands to high prayer. And warrior two, pivot the right foot so that the toes are at the front of the mat and right heel is in line with left back arch. Arms in a T looking over the right fingertips. And then coming down to a low lunge and back to tabletop. All right, now for the other side. Let's bring the left foot forward and tuck the back right toes and lift the back knee into a low lunge. From here, let's hop that right foot forward so it's flat on the mat with the toes pointing off to the side, coming up to a standing position, left knee over left heel, hips square and chest squared off to the front of the mat. Arms up overhead in a high prayer. Warrior one. From here, pivoting that back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat, heel toeing your front heel so it's in line with the back arch. Front knee over heel. Make sure you can see your front big toes. Arms in a T, shoulders down and away from your ears, arms nice and strong. Looking over the left fingertips this time into warrior two. Taking a breath here. From here, we're going to lower down, forearm to thigh, bringing the right arm up along our ear, pointing forward. You can stay here, or if you want to drop that left arm and raise the right fingertips to sky, you can do that. Right arm straight and strong, rotating the shoulder back and the chest open. Bringing that left forearm back onto the left front thigh and the right bicep by the ear. Coming back up to warrior two. Bringing the foot parallel to one another so that left foot is parallel to right foot and that both feet are parallel to the front and back of the mat. And come into star pose. I'm going to rotate around so it's a nicer picture than my back. And we're going to try goddess pose one more time, because why not? That'd be fun. So bringing the hands to heart center, pivoting the heels slightly inward, toes pointing out towards the corners of the mat, bringing the pelvis slightly forward, crown of the head above the pelvis, and then slowly sinking down, checking that you're, as best you can, that your knees are in line with your heels. And this is not absolutely perfect, but we're aspiring to that. And you can bring hands to heart center, or you can open them up. You can stay as you are, or you can alternate lifting heels, or lifting both heels up, sinking a little bit further down if that's accessible to you. And dropping the heels, coming back to a standing, pivoting the feet so that they're parallel to one another. We'll move back into star. Move back around so I don't get my feet mixed up. Pivoting the left toes to the top of the mat, keeping the back foot in line with the back of the mat. Front heel and knee aligned, making sure you can see that front big toe. Arms in a T for warrior two. rotate the hands around to frame the front foot into a low lunge. Back to tabletop. And then rolling into a seat. And in our seated position, we're going to have our sitting bones on the mat and our feet placed flat on the mat in front of us with our knees pointing up to the sky. Let's gently grab behind our legs, our hamstrings, and lean back. And when we're leaning back, staying nice and broad and open across the collarbones. From here, we can lift our shins so that they're parallel to the floor. And if this is too much, then you can stay exactly where you were before. This is an evolution. It's not a requirement. If you'd like to, you can release the arms straight out in front, like you want to give someone a big hug kind of thing. And then if you want to try a little bit more, you can extend the legs straight out, fully extended to boat pose. Staying open across the chest. And gently with control, lower back down. From here, let's bring our wrists underneath our shoulders, fingertips pointing towards the front of the mat. And let's lift up our hips into a reverse tabletop position. Bring hips up to sky. You can either relax the head back, or if that feels too much, you can always just look up and forward. Either is okay. And then gently lower back down. From here, let's move into child's pose. Rolling over the legs, bringing the knees hip width apart, toes together, coming back on your heels, your glutes on top of your heels, and then extending the arms forward towards the front of the mat and relaxing down. And breathe. And from here, let's flip the right palm to the sky. Push into our left palm just to lift up the left underarm a bit. And bring the right arm across the chest, threading it under the left underarm and lowering everything down. And if this is not too much, you can always stay in child's pose. If you'd like a little more, you can take the left arm and bring it around across your back so that the top of the left hand is in the general vicinity of the right hip. Relaxing into thread the needle. If you took the bind with your hand behind your back, you can release the left arm, bring it forward, push into the left hand and unwind the right arm and bring it straight out in front. Fingertips, both fingertips towards the front of the mat. From here, let's flip the left palm to the sky, push into the right hand to lift the right underarm up, and bring the left arm across the chest and underneath the right underarm, left palm facing upward, and lower everything back down. I find this, all yoga poses offer an opportunity to check out how your body's feeling, but this is kind of a nice pose to just check in and see if you can soften and relax your body. If you want to, you can bring that right arm behind you so that the right back of the hand is in contact with or in the area of the left hip this time. Taking the bind on the other side. And while it would be difficult to look any other way, you'd be looking to the right in this pose. It'd be very uncomfortable to look to the left. If you took the bind, you can unwind that and bring the right hand towards the top of the mat, pushing into the hand, unwinding the left hand and bringing it towards the front as well. And now coming forward onto your chest, and if this causes you any pain or discomfort, well, if it causes you any pain, we definitely don't want to do this. We could stay in child's pose or in a nice easy seat. Otherwise, if you have a pillow or blanket, and I find sometimes this is helpful. I have cysts too, and they hurt sometimes in this pose, but you could always place the blanket or pillow under your chest. Using your hands as a pillow, taking from a laying down position with your feet pointed towards the back of the mat. Let's bring the right knee up towards the top of the mat and bring the right shin parallel to the side of the mat for a half frog pose. And if you want to have a little more challenge here, you can always edge the knee up more towards the top of the mat. If you want less challenge, you can bring the knee down more towards the back of the mat. And straightening the right leg out behind you. Let's do the same on the other side. So taking the left knee this time and bringing it up towards the top of the mat with the shin parallel to the edge of the mat, the outer edge of the mat. And relaxing down. Adjusting the knee up or down is more interesting for you. And bringing the left leg straight behind and coming up to a seat. From here, let's extend the left leg straight out in front as you're in a seat. Make sure you can feel your sitting bones in the mat. You don't have to push anything away, but just making sure you feel nice and grounded. Left leg straight out in front, left toe is pointing up towards the sky. Right foot, sole of the right foot in contact with the left inner thighs. The knee is bent, right knee is bent, and right foot in contact with the left inner thigh. Let's be mindful of our spinal alignment. So head over top of pelvis, crown of the head to the sky. Inhale. And on the exhale, hinging at the hips and coming forward. Now you can come forward onto your hands or your forearms, or if you're able to come down further, that's great. Any of those are perfectly fine. What we want to do is we want to sort of extend out of our lower back, sort of leading with our heart and chest to avoid compression in the lower back. Trying to relax and breathe wherever you're at. This pose is called Janu Shashasana. Rolls right off the tongue. And leading with our heart and coming back up. Same on the other side. Let's extend the right leg, bringing the left sole of the foot into the right inner thigh. And bringing the crown of the head up towards the sky, feeling nice and long and tall. And then leading with the heart and hinging at the hips, coming forward over the legs a little more or a lot, as works for you today. And one side of the leg or body might feel a little more stiff than the other, and that's okay. Just be mindful of that and adjust accordingly and breathe. leading with the heart and coming back up. Let's take the left leg and bring it out to the left and bring the right foot in again towards the inner left thigh. And we sort of have a V shape with our legs where our left leg is straight out and our toes are pointed up and our right knee is pointing out to the other side of the V. From here, let's turn our torso so that it's aligned with and pointing towards the right knee. And then lifting both arms up overhead, then leaning towards the left, bringing the left arm alongside the inner left leg, and bringing the right arm up and over. This is revolved Janu Shasana. And in this pose, we want to rotate our right shoulder so it's sort of up and back. We don't want to be hunched over. And we're yearning our fingers, right fingers towards our left toes. And don't hold your breath. And then coming up to a seat and switching legs. So right leg out to the side, left leg bent with the sole of the foot, left foot on the inside of the right leg. Sitting up nice and tall. From here, let's point the chest towards the left leg, bringing the arms overhead. And then coming down to the right, bringing the right arm alongside the inner right leg. And bringing the left arm up and over. And in this pose, we can gently use the right leg as leverage. Just pushing against it with our right arm to open up the chest a little bit more and bring that left shoulder back. And yearning the left hand, fingers towards the right toes. And then inhaling, coming back up. Now, coming down onto your back with your feet flat on the mat and your knees pointing up to the sky. From here, let's lift up the right foot and cross right ankle over the lower left thigh, just above the left knee. And then let's bring in the left knee and grab behind with your hands clasped behind your left leg. If you want a little bit more, you can actually unclasp the hands and then reclasp them over the front of the left shin. That gives you a little bit more of a stretch in the right hip. And then from here, if you're comfortable here, you can stay here. If you'd like to do something else, you can bring as a unit the legs over to the left so that the left leg and right foot are resting on the floor on the left. And your arms can be out in a T or at goalpost cactus arms. And in this pose, we want to rest our shoulders onto the mat. And relax into the pose. Try to be mindful of and soften any gripping or tension that you might feel. And then you can help with your left hand, or maybe your left and your right. If you need to, you can help the legs up as one unit back to center and unwind. Let's do the same on the other side. So lifting up the left leg, crossing left ankle over right lower thigh above the knee. And then reaching in between, around and grabbing the back of the hamstring, the right hamstring. Or if you'd like a little more stretch, you can reach a little further and clasp the hands around the front of the shin. And let's breathe here for a moment. And from here, bring both legs as one unit over to the right this time. So left foot and right leg are in contact with the floor. Shoulders are in contact with the floor, and arms are in the T or in cactus. Relaxing the back and relaxing the face and the hips. And then you can help your legs up with your hands if you'd like. And put both feet on the mat with the knees pointing up to the sky. Let's take both hands and reach forward in between the knees, bringing your knees up towards your body, and then grabbing the outside of your feet. Lifting the feet up so that the soles of the feet are parallel to the ceiling. And this is happy baby pose. So we're pulling down on our legs by holding the outer sides of the edges of the feet, and our arms are in between our knees. And our back is on the floor, and our shoulders are on the floor. And we're nice and relaxed. Or, we're trying to relax. And you can just stay here and chill, or if you want to do something a little more active or kind of massage out the back a little bit, you can lift up one foot and then the other and kind of create a bit of a rocking motion. And if you took the rocking motion, just coming to a gentle stop. Then bringing the feet together and bringing the knees together and bringing the knees in for a nice hug. Giving yourself a nice hug. And then moving into Savasana. In Savasana, we will bring our arms out beside our body, just a little bit, palms facing up, shoulders down and away from our ears, with our shoulder blades just slightly tucked to open up across the chest and the collarbones. Palms facing up, chin slightly tucked to the back of your neck is long. Relax your forehead and your eyes. Relax your jaw. You might want to place the tip of your tongue on the center back top row of teeth, gently. Relax your chest and your back, melting your back body into the mat. Relaxing your glutes and your legs, and your feet. And really taking a moment to surrender your body into the mat. A lot of times, kind of mindlessly, we grip as if, we're kind of bracing ourselves. And sometimes it helps to remind yourself there's no need to brace yourself. You can totally relax into the floor and it will hold you and support you. And allow your body to rest. And pulling through the earlier passage at the beginning of class about being mindful of your body in the moment, I'll invite you to just take a scan of your body. See if you notice anything different. Is anything a little more relaxed? relaxed, a little softer, a little more at ease. Or possibly not. Maybe you're a little tired from having done this past hour or so. This is possible too. And just being aware of how you're feeling. And if you're feeling more relaxed, I hope you pull that into the rest of your evening and have a great sleep. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And if for whatever reason you're tired from this, I'm congratulating yourself for having done it and taking it easy tonight. Maybe going to bed a bit early. Just being mindful of how you feel and honoring how you feel today. And from here, gently wiggling our fingers and toes. And bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Rolling over onto one side using the hands and arms as a pillow. And then using your arms pushing up to a seat.